Ever had someone give you genuinely good advice, and for absolutely no reason, your entire soul just wanted to strangle him? Like full on, I'm about to commit a crime energy. Maybe it was your dad. He was literally trying to help. But suddenly, you're in full debate mode, defending a choice you weren't even sure about 5 minutes ago. Your brain pulled arguments straight out of its ass. You ignore perfectly useful advice, start a whole argument for sport, and then, 3 business days later, it creeps up on you. Damn, he was right. Hate when that happens. At first, that sounds harmless. Cute even. But this reaction can make you stay with a dogshit decision, push away people who were actually trying to help, and leave you regretting a choice you didn't even make because you wanted it. You made it just to prove nobody could tell you what the fuck to do. But relax. This doesn't mean you're childish, stubborn, or broken. Your brain is trying to protect your sense of control. It's doing its job, just in the dumbest way possible. Like a bodyguard who tackles you instead of the threat. And once you understand what it's protecting, you can catch the reaction before it starts choosing for your dumbass. Give me the next 8 minutes. I'll show you what researchers actually found, why advice from parents hits different, and 3 big-ass bumbleclot questions you can ask yourself before accepting or rejecting anyone's advice. Because if you skip this and never notice the reaction, you might spend years calling it independence, while anyone who annoys you can low-key control your direction just by telling you what to do. That's not freedom, bestie. That's just driving in reverse with your middle finger out the window. Here's the weird part though. When your dad hits you with, maybe don't drop the class yet, it low-key feels like a targeted personal attack on your entire existence. Your 200 IQ brain immediately goes, nah, I know what I'm doing type shit, back off. But then, your goofy ass, horny ass, dumb ass, nasty ass little bitch pulls up the next day and says the exact same thing. And somehow, it hits totally different. Now, it actually sounds reasonable. Now you're nodding along like it's ancient wisdom. Same advice, same situation, completely different reaction. So maybe the advice isn't the real problem here. Maybe it's who it's coming from. And whether it feels like they're helping you decide or trying to decide for you. Because advice doesn't always sound like advice. Sometimes your brain adds its own subtitles and completely fumbles the translation. What they said. Have you thought about another option? What your brain heard. You have no idea what you're doing, you absolute buffoon. And now you're like, oh, so you think I'm stupid? I bet, watch this. The advice could be completely right, genuinely helpful, but the second it makes you feel judged, controlled, or low-key useless, you stop asking the one question that actually matters. Is this helpful? Nah, now you're just trying to prove you're not an idiot. That's the entire mission now. And researchers found something interesting. Whether you actually asked for the advice mattered way less than 2 other things. Whether you were genuinely ready to hear it, and whether it made you feel like your freedom was under attack or like you were being judged. Basically, they said, here's an idea, just something to consider. Your brain heard, move out the way, dumbass, I'll decide for you since you clearly can't. And that's when your brain starts pushing back with full force, even if it's pushing you straight toward the worst choice. Your pride is driving, and it does not have a license. And that whole, fuck you, I'll do what I want energy, it actually has a name. Psychological reactance. Sounds like some nerd-ass textbook shit, I know, but it's stupid simple when you break it down. The second your brain detects that someone is trying to snatch away your choice, or even just feels like they are, it immediately enters fight mode to take that shit back. No questions asked. And it's not just making you mad. Oh no. Your brain goes full courtroom drama, pulls up as your own defense attorney, and starts yanking 10 reasons straight out of its ass for why their advice is objectively trash, even if it made perfect sense 5 literal seconds ago. Researchers actually tested this. When advice went against what people already wanted to do, it sometimes made them want the opposite even harder. Like a forbidden fruit situation, but make it psychological. And the more the decision actually mattered to you, the stronger that pushback could get. So your dad could be right as hell, mathematically correct, receipts and all, and your brain still goes, nah, fuck that, I'm driving this bitch, buckle up. But here's the real question. Why does the exact same advice hit so much harder when it comes from your parents? Because when a friend gives you advice, it's just one opinion. But when your parents say it, that shit comes with years of lore. Your brain hears every time they chose for you, checked your phone, or drops the classic, "I know what's best." So one normal suggestion suddenly turns into, "Why are you writing every decision I make? Get off my dick." In a study about emotional support with 194 people aged 18 to 25, unasked for support landed better when their parents usually respected their choices. When that respect was low, asking first mattered way more. So it's not just the sentence, it's the whole toxic relationship attached to it. But here's the weird part. Sometimes you ask for the advice yourself, then still get pissed when you hear it. Sometimes you didn't actually want advice. You wanted your bestie to gas up the plan you already decided on. You hit him with the, "What should I do?" But the translation was literally, "Please dick ride my decision and validate me like your life depends on it." Then they have the audacity to disagree, and your brain immediately goes, "Who the f asked you, bro?" Bro, you literally did, with your whole mouth, like 2 seconds ago. And studies back this up. Asking for advice on its own doesn't tell you shit about what's actually happening upstairs. The real plot twist? It all comes down to whether you were genuinely ready for an answer that wasn't just your opinion in a different font, and whether their response made you feel controlled or judged. So before you go accepting or rejecting anyone's advice like you're the main character, there are 3 questions that can expose what your brain is actually doing behind the scenes. Question 1. If the exact same advice came from someone else, would I still think it was bullshit? If not, you're fighting the person, not the advice. Question 2. Is the advice actually wrong, or did the delivery just make me feel dumb, controlled, or judged? Question 3. Did I want a real answer, or did I just want someone to give my ego a hand job and tell me I'm right? Then rewrite the advice as an option. Not, "Dad says I have to stay." Just, "Staying 1 more week is one option." Now the choice is yours again. You don't have to follow the advice. Just don't reject it while your ego is throwing a tantrum with its dick out. So next time someone's advice makes your brain scream, "Get off my dick," respectfully, just pause for a hot second. Maybe the advice is actual dog shit. Maybe they're being a controlling weirdo. Or maybe your ego heard one tiny suggestion and decided to turn it into a full-blown custody battle over your entire life. Real independence isn't blindly saying yes to everything like a people-pleasing NPC. But it also isn't doing the polar opposite just to prove you're the captain now. Because here's the tea. If their advice controls your reaction, they're still steering the ship, bestie. You're just driving in reverse. Sometimes you're not even rejecting the advice itself. You're rejecting that icky feeling that the decision isn't yours anymore. That's what your brain is actually fighting. So hear it, separate it from the person, and then make the choice for your own dumbass.